Hey everybody, this is Mrs. Clark and I'm going to show you how to code a Valentine's bird. You can write your own questions, and if people answer them correctly, the pixels pop up revealing your pictures. You can get this exact template if you click on the link in the description below, and you can code along with me, but this should also help you if you are coding your own pixel art that you created. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is come up to this percentage, click the arrow and set it to 75% so I can see everything on one screen. The next step is to click on these question boxes, and you can just click and start typing. I'm going to write my questions and my answers, and then afterwards, if you want to, you can select and you can change the font color, size, all of that, and you can also resize the question answer boxes to make them bigger or smaller. So go ahead and write your questions and your answers. Now we'll talk about the coding. We're actually only going to have to write 9 codes because we are going to code each of these answer boxes. That's it. When you code, you're really just telling the computer 2 things. You're telling the computer what box you're talking about, so this box or this box or this box, and you need to tell the computer what needs to be in that box in order for the code to work. In other words, the answer to your question, in this case, 9 or 25 or February. When I say that you need to tell the computer what box you're talking about, every box on a spreadsheet has a name. You name the box with the column and row. When you click on it, you can see the column and row because it shades it for you. This box is in column B. And let's look at the row. It's a big box, so it's rows 4, 5, 6, and 7. But when you name it, you use the first number, which is 4. So this box is B4, column B, row 4. This box is column B, row 8. This box is column B, row 12. With that being said, let's look at the actual code. It's the things I was just talking about, plus a couple symbols. I recommend writing it down. The code, or the custom formula, is equals $column, $row equals answer. The column and row are the column and row of the answer box that you're coding. For example, the code for this box is going to be equals $B, that's the column, $4, that's the row, equals 9, that's the answer. The code for this box will be equals $B, $8, equals 25. The code for this box will be equals $B, $12, equals February, and since February is a word, I have to put it in quotes. I'll show you that in just a sec. That's how you write the code. Now let's start. Click on the first box that you want to code, which is this one here, and open the conditional formatting window. To do that, come up to Format. If you don't have this menu, click here. Click on Format and Conditional Formatting. You're going to keep this window up the whole time, but if you lose it, that's how you get it back. And you can see that it's already started a code for the box that I had. I always start at the bottom first by choosing the color I want it to turn, and I need to choose a color from my bird. If you're not sure which color you want, you can always come to the bird and find it. I'm going to do the main purple color. So something I do sometimes is I'll click on it and come up to this paint bucket just to see where it's located. So it is the purple that's next to the pink. It's the first purple after the pinks. Okay. Now, if you do that, it's just so you can find the color. You do need to click back on the box you're actually coding, which is this box. Now, let's come back to our coding window. So, we're going to find that color. So, I was just looking at it, so I know that it's this one, and select it. Next step is to write the code. To do that, come to Format Cells If, click and scroll all the way down to the very last option, which is Custom Formula Is. When you click on it, a box will appear for you to write your custom formula or your code. So again, with that code, we're just telling the computer the column and row of this box and that there needs to be a 9 in it for the code to work. Equals $B, that's the column, $4, that's the row, equals 9, that's the answer. Keep this window open, but I'm going to close it just to show you real quick, there it is, that the code is actually done and it works. I told the computer if there's a 9 in that box, turn it that shade of purple, but if there's a 5 or nothing or something else in it, don't turn it purple. So the code is actually done. All I need to do now is add in some of the purples from the bird so that when this box turns purple, so do some other boxes too. And that is what this last step up here is for. It's called apply to range. Click on this window, slide this over. I am now going to click on some of the purples from my bird so that they are added to the code. But first I have to hold down a button on my computer, and that button is Control. It's usually in the bottom left-hand corner of your keyboard. If you have a Mac, hold down Command. Then just come in and start clicking on this shade of purple in the bird. And the reason I'm holding down Control is because it allows me to keep everything I've clicked and just keep adding on to it. It's very important that that first 9 box stays selected. There's a tiny blue line around it to show that it will also turn purple. And that's important because that box needs to be included in the range. I'm going to select about half of these. When I'm finished, I'm going to take my finger off Control, and I need to do 3 steps to finish. First, I need to hit OK on the range. Second, I need to hit Done on the code. Step 3 is very important, and it's easy to forget, so try not to forget. Come up to the paint bucket, click on it, and click Reset. Now I'm done. There's a lot selected right now, so I'm going to click Anywhere Else. And now we can test it. Click on that 9 box, delete the 9, the pixels will disappear. Put the 9 back in, and you do have to click off of it for the pixels to reappear. And it's done. I'm going to delete the 9 though, so that my bird can be disappearing in front of my eyes, and so I don't get confused about what I have coded and have not coded. And you'll see that the code is still there. Let's move on to our next one. And something I want to say is that for that first question, I did half of those purples, but now I have exactly 8 colors left in my bird, and I have 8 questions left. So for every question, I'm going to do all of the color. So I'll do the whole thing. For example, I'm going to do the light purple next, the lightest one, and I'll do all of it. So I need to click on the next box that I'm coding, come over and click Add Another Rule, and we'll do it all over again. Start at the bottom and pick your color. I want that lightest purple. If I'm not sure where to find it, I can always click down here and look and see. It's the 3rd one in, and then click back on the box I'm actually coding. Pick your color. Come down to Custom Formula is, write your code telling the computer the column and row of this box and that there needs to be a 25 in it, in my case. Equals $B, that's the column, $8 equals 25, that's the answer. Code is done. Now I just want to add the light purples from the bird. Click on Apply to Range and slide this window over. Hold down Control so you don't lose anything that has already been selected, especially this box there. And we're going to click and select all of the light purples in the bird. If you click on something you don't mean to, like that, that's not a big of a deal because it's still just part of the bird. It could be light purple, it doesn't matter. But if you really don't want it, if you click on that one, for example, just click on it again and it'll take it off. When you're done, lift up on Control and do your 3 steps. OK on the range, done on the code, and remember step 3 is to reset the paint bucket. Click Anywhere and test out your 25. There we go. Click on the next box you want to code. So I want to do this February box. And click Add Another Rule. I want to do the darkest pink. Click on the paint bucket. This is the darkest pink. And now we'll write our code. Custom formula is equals $B, that's the column, $12, that's the row, equals February. And I want to show you something. You see it turned white? There's something wrong with the code. I mentioned earlier that if your answer is a word, like February, you have to do one extra step. That step is to add quotation marks around the word, just like dialogue in a book. Now it turns pink to show us that the code now works. Come up to Apply to Range, slide this over, hold down Control, and I'm going to click on all of the dark pinks, making sure that that February box there stays selected too. It is also part of the code. Lift up on Control and try to think about what those 3 steps are. OK on the range, done on the code, and reset the paint bucket. Click literally anywhere else, and come delete the word February, and put it back in. Click off of it, and the pink reappears. Click on the next box that you want to code and click Add Another Rule. I'm going to do the black this time, so pick your color, and I want to show you something. If I turn that box black, which is good, that's what I want, I can't see the words anymore because the text was black. Well, every time you code, you also have the option of changing the font color if you want to. I usually don't, but if it's black, I can't read it. So just right here next to the paint bucket, I'm also telling the computer, okay, with the code, when you turn the box black, can you also turn the font pink? And now I can read it again. Let's come up and write our code. Equals $B, that's the column, $16, that's the row, equals, quotation marks, Mercury, quotation marks. Code is good. It turned color to show us that it worked. Click the window for apply to range. Hold down Control. You want to make sure that Mercury box stays selected. It's part of the code. Something you can do too is that you can click and drag. So I'm dragging down. If you have several that are next to each other, like that. And that can speed it up a little bit. I'm going to lift up on Control. Try to think about what those 3 steps are. OK on the range, done on the code, and reset the paint bucket. Click anywhere else because everything's selected right now, and you can test it out. Click off of it for it to activate. I have 5 colors left, and I have 5 questions left. So I have 3 purples, the darkest purple of the wing, this shadow, and then this main purple, and I have 2 pinks. I am going to continue coding. I'll speed up the video now, and then we'll check in at the end and see how it looks. All right, when it's all finished, there should be no pixels left, and you can see as I click on the answer boxes, the codes will pop up on the right, and I can see the different colors. So if I forgot anything or need to open them, that's where I can find them. Let's close the conditional formatting window and put our answers in and see how it looks. And pixel art is a lot of fun, but it does take a little while to learn. So if you make mistakes at the beginning, that's very normal. Stick with it. It's really great for you to try things that are challenging and to not give up with it. If you left any pixels behind or you made mistakes, that's very normal. And there's a video here called Pixel Art Common Mistakes and How to Fix Them. And this is also on my channel in any pixel art playlist. And that'll help you if you made any mistakes with your artwork. So check that out if it's helpful to you. And I hope that you have fun with this project.